just last year you were part of a 4-man evacuation team, wasn't you? Can you tell us about that? Because that sounds like some interesting right there.
Yeah. Interesting. Like some of the worst moments of my life. So everybody remembers when Afghanistan was falling, when the American military was leaving, the Taliban, every inch that the Americans relinquished control over was then immediately controlled by the Taliban. And as the Americans moved closer and closer into the capital city of Kabul, specifically to the HKIA, the Hamid Karzai airport, that was like the last little bastion of American-controlled territory. And that was also the only place that if you were going to leave Afghanistan that you would be able to evacuate out of. The Taliban so quickly took control of the ground. There was, I don't know who told the American government that the Afghan military would be able to hold off the Taliban. Clearly, they could not and did not. So, as every inch was given back to the Taliban, it was never controlled by the Afghan military. That might have been the plan all along. Who knew? So, what everybody saw was C-17 airplanes taking off with people holding on to the landing gear onto the wheel wells and then falling to their death. Like people hanging on to the airplane wings, hoping that as the plane took off, they'd be able to like hang on to a plane that's traveling hundreds of miles an hour. It's insanity. And it was so bad that the Afghan and Americans that were trapped in Afghanistan, they're trying to like hand infant childs over the wall through concertina wire to save these babies' lives before the Taliban took control of Kabul. So myself and 3 other guys flew into Kabul as part of this organization called Save Our Allies. And this, I'm actually wearing their shirt right now. We were backed by a group of 8 other special operations people that were, in Middle Eastern countries and then some of them were in Washington, D.C. So every time that an ally of America was trapped, they would contact, whether it was Department of State or Department of Defense, or maybe they were texting a friend being like, hey man, I'm trapped. How do I get out? To include Americans, that would come to us, and then we would go out and find them and bring them onto this military base to this airport, and then put them on one of the American planes to fly out safely before the Taliban found them and killed them. We operated on the ground for the last 10 days of the operation of they call it a NEO, a non-combatant evacuation operation. Which is usually done by the military. In this case, it was kind of done by Department of State and volunteer organizations, which is not ideal. It's a really bad plan. And we moved we moved thousands of people in the time that we were there.
So you basically went on a mission behind enemy lines.
Yeah, to find Americans and our allies and rescue them before the Taliban found them and murdered them. No. Taliban sucks.
That's unbelievable, to be honest. Oh yeah, the Taliban.
Yeah,
I've never even met the Taliban or know anything of them.
No.
I hope you've killed a lot of them, Tim.
Yeah, this is true, but you were spot on. The Taliban. No.
Yeah,